Starting vegetables from seed is one of the most rewarding and cost-effective ways to grow a productive garden. You can start almost every vegetable from seed if you have the right timing, tools, and a simple method. This is Stephen Albert. I've been starting seeds year-round here in Sonoma Valley for more than 30 years, indoors under lights and outdoors in raised beds, mounded beds, and containers. Today I'm going to walk you through the exact steps that consistently give me strong, healthy seedlings every time. So whether you're brand new to gardening or you just want to sharpen your skills, you're in the right place. So why start vegetables from seed? It's simple, because growing from seed gives you benefits you often can't get from garden center offerings. Here are the benefits I truly appreciate. First, you get to choose from far more varieties. From seed, you get hundreds of options you'll never see as garden center transplants. Second, you grow healthier plants because you control the timing, the soil, the temperature, the light, and the spacing from day one. Third, you get earlier harvests, especially for cool season crops that you can start inside long before the soil warms up. And fourth, you don't have to wait or guess what your garden center will offer this season. From seed, you can start your season and plan your harvests on your schedule. You don't have to make endless trips to the garden center hoping the plants you want will be there. And lastly, the biggest benefit of starting seeds is understanding. With every crop you start from seed, you gain through hands-on experience and observation how plants really grow. This is knowledge that is irreplaceable. That knowledge makes everything in your garden easier. Now let's talk about the when and why of seed starting. This gets to the heart of why seed starting makes sense for most avid gardeners. Indoor seed starting is ideal when you need a head start on the season or when the weather is simply too cold for seeds to germinate outdoors. After decades of doing this, these are the crops I always start indoors under lights. First, tomatoes and peppers and eggplants. These tender warm season crops need a warm start and plenty of time. Next, brassicas including broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and kale. I start these indoors in late winter so they can be transplanted outdoors as soon as the soil warms. This gives them a long spring in the garden. Early in the season, I also start several leafy crops indoors, including leaf lettuce and baby bok choy. I start these early so I can plant 1, 2, or even 3 successions before summer heat arrives. I always start indoors crops that need long growing seasons, such as bulbing onions and leeks. Cool season crops benefit from getting a jump indoors so they're ready to transplant the moment the soil can be worked. Finally, I also start most herbs from seed, including basil and thyme. Keep in mind, most warm season crops need that extra heat and time indoors to mature before the end of summer. Now let's talk about what you need for indoor success. Let me show you the tools that will make the biggest difference in your success. First, a sterile, fine-textured seed starting mix that is great at holding moisture. I usually use a commercial seed mix simply to save time, but there are several do-it-yourself formulas if you want to make your own. Second, I have plenty of cell trays and small pots on hand. You'll want trays and pots with bottom holes that allow for plenty of drainage. I use both large and small seed trays and plastic and peat pots, just depending on the number of seedlings I need for each crop. Next, I use strong LED grow lights that cover the seed starting mix and trays with plenty of intense light. I keep the lights just a few inches above the trays and seedlings so that the seedlings don't stretch searching for light. I use heat mats with adjustable thermostats, especially for warm season crops like tomatoes and peppers. I keep seed trays on the heat mats to warm the soil just until the seedlings emerge. Next, I often use humidity domes to aid germination. A humidity dome creates a mini greenhouse effect, trapping moisture for faster, more consistent seed germination by keeping the soil evenly damp and protecting seeds and very small seedlings from drafts. A dome also maintains steady, warm temperatures and reduces the need for watering just until delicate sprouts appear. These supplies are easy to find at any nursery or garden center. Now, here's my indoor seed starting method. This method is straightforward and has been working for me for more than 30 years. First, fill your trays with pre-moistened seed starting mix. The mix should be just moist, not wet. Lightly firm the mix into the trays. Then sow your seeds at the seed packet recommended depth. That's usually about 2 to 3 times the seed's diameter. Then cover the seeds lightly with the seed starting mix or vermiculite. Give the surface a gentle mist. For warm season crops, you'll want to put the trays on a heat mat until the seeds sprout. As soon as you spot a bit of green, move the trays directly under lights. Keep the lights about 2 to 4 inches above the seedlings and run them for 14 to 16 hours each day. Be sure to bottom water to help prevent damping off disease. When the true leaves appear in a few weeks, thin the seedlings so you've got just the strongest plant in each cell. Thin seedlings by clipping the smallest or weakest at the soil line. If you do all this right, you'll end up with strong, compact seedlings that are ready to move outdoors. If outdoor temperatures do not warm as expected, pot up seedlings to the next size up container to ensure plants do not become root bound. Set transplants in the garden as soon as the outdoor soil and air temperatures are right for the crop, usually 2 or 3 weeks after the last spring frost. Now let's talk about how to start seeds outdoors. Direct sowing means planting seeds in the garden right where the plants will actually grow. Some vegetables just do much better this way. In my Sonoma garden, I always direct sow root crops including beets, carrots, radishes, turnips, shallots, and garlic. I also direct sow beans, peas, and chickpeas. Melon, squash, and zucchini seeds I plant directly after the soil has warmed. Cut and come again, leafy crops like spinach, leaf lettuce, mustard, and arugula also do well when direct sown. For cut and come again greens, I often broadcast or sprinkle seeds across the planting bed rather than sow each seed individually. This results in a dense bed of greens easily cut as needed. Herbs like cilantro and dill grow easily when direct sown. Many of these crops really don't like being transplanted. Direct sowing is simply the best option. Keep in mind that as a rule, root crops like carrots and beets and turnips perform best when they are direct sown, that is started exactly where they will mature. Now let's talk about preparing outdoor planting beds for direct sowing and transplanting. For reliable outdoor germination, the following steps really make all the difference. First, prepare the soil so it's loose, crumbly, and free of clods. I commonly add plenty of aged compost or commercial organic planting mix to both new beds and older beds I am refreshing for the new season. I always moisten the bed before I plant anything. I water until the soil is just moist. Then mark your rows or furrows to keep the spacing nice and even. Sow seeds at the correct depth so they germinate quickly. Keep the soil consistently moist. Sometimes a light mulch or row cover helps with that. If you get a heat spell, use a row cover or shade cloth to protect emerging seedlings. And don't forget, you might need to protect new seedlings from birds with a row cover if necessary. Here's a trick I use in our dry Sonoma summers. I lay a wooden board or cardboard over freshly seeded rows for about 2 to 4 days. This prevents the soil from crusting and it keeps moisture in. The moment I see sprouts poking through, I just remove the board. Next, let's talk about timing your seed sowing. Here's how I decide when and where to start my seeds. As a rule, I start seeds indoors if the crop needs a long season. Tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants I always start indoors. And I start indoors if the weather is just too cold or persistently chilly. I start indoors if I want an early harvest. I start indoors if I want tight control over temperature and moisture. On the other hand, I direct sow outdoors if the crop forms a taproot or really hates root disturbance. I start outdoors when the spring weather is especially mild and the soil is warming early. I start outdoors when I know the seeds will germinate quickly, crops like beans, radishes, and leafy greens. I always check the seed packets. They will give you specific seed starting recommendations for your climate. When it comes to seed starting, timing is the key to success. Timing is everything. If you start too early, your seedlings can suffer from chill and stress. But if you start too late, your harvest gets pushed back. So, to get it right, make sure you know the average date of your last spring frost. Time your seed sowing so that you don't sow seeds or set out transplants too early in the season. Later in the year, make sure you know the average date of the first fall frost so that you don't sow seeds too late and run out of growing season. Always be aware of the number of days your crop needs to reach harvest and its temperature constraints. Now let's talk about caring for seedlings and the importance of light, water, and airflow. Once your seedlings are up, consistent care is what keeps them strong. For light, keep your grow lights about 2 to 4 inches above the seedlings and run them for 14 to 16 hours each day. For water, I strongly suggest bottom watering to keep the mix evenly moist, not wet. Set trays in bottom water for about 15 minutes to allow moisture to wick up into the soil. When it comes to airflow, just use a small fan and remove humidity domes once the seedlings emerge. Good airflow prevents damping off disease better than anything else I've tried. That brings us to troubleshooting common seed starting problems. Here are the seed starting issues I see most often and how to fix them. Stretched or leggy seedlings usually mean not enough light or maybe too much heat. Just bring the lights closer and take trays off of heat mats as soon as seedlings emerge. Damping off is a fatal disease in seedlings caused by soil-borne fungi or molds. Damping off usually occurs soon after sprouting. The stem at the soil line becomes soft and constricted, causing the plant to fall over and die. This can happen when the soil is too wet or the air is too humid. There is no cure. Proper watering and good airflow are key to prevention. Slow or uneven germination can be a problem. This can occur when the soil temperature is too cold or too warm, or the seed planting depth is wrong. Remember, warm season crops often need a heat mat and cool season crop do not, especially after sprouting. You will find the correct seed planting depth on the seed packet. When seedlings wilt or collapse, commonly the soil is either too dry or too wet. Keep soil moisture consistent and make sure your trays drain well. And there you have it. After thousands of seedlings and years of year-round gardening here in the Sonoma Valley, I've learned that seed starting is actually pretty simple once you understand what a seed needs: warmth, moisture, light, and airflow. Give each in the right balance, and the seed does the rest. If you want more, just explore the Seed Starting and Propagation Learning Hub at harvesttotable.com, linked below. And if you found this helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and check out the next video in the series. Thanks for watching today. Until next time, this is Stephen Albert in the Sonoma Valley wishing you a great day and happy gardening.